Hey everyone, I'm Joe Ferzoco.
And I'm Chris Ferzoco, and we're going to talk about market statistics. We're going to look at April of 2024 versus March. And in this video, we're going to cover the sales values, right? We want to make sure we're following and tracking what sales values are doing this time of year. We're going to look at the number of properties that come on the market. We're going to look at the number of properties that have sold, meaning the ones that have closed. And we're also going to take a look at your list price to sale price ratio, Joe, in this video today.
All right, fantastic. Hey, and if this is your first time through the channel and you like what you see and you like what you're hearing, please subscribe below, tap that bell for instant notifications, and please hit the like button. And you'll be the first to get the most up-to-date market information here at the Jersey Shore. And Chris, you know, the Ferzoco Group, we do cover the Jersey Shore, not that Jersey Shore, everywhere from Brigantine, Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Ocean City, Summers Point, Egg Harbor Township, Strathmore, Sea Isle, Avalon, Stone Harbor, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, West Wildwood, Diamond Beach, Cape May, North Cape May, Cape May Courthouse, and Upper Township. That Jersey Shore. So
that
Chris,
Shore.
Let's get us started here, and we can talk about these market statistics, March versus April 2024.
That's right, and we're actually going to start in Ocean City. So when we look at the sales value here, Ocean City actually had an excellent April. It did drop a little bit. I mean, the values dropped about 9%, but April was still strong, Joe. It was still up at 1.13 million. It was the average sale price. Cool. And we're looking at these sale prices and we're looking at these statistics today. Keep in mind, we're talking about all real estate. So we're not just talking about condos. We're looking at condos. We're looking at single family homes. We're looking at efficiencies. We're looking at beachfronts. We're looking at vacant lots, commercial property, everything, multifamilies included, everything that's within the real estate that has been sold, that's on our multiple listing services. That's what we're including in these statistics today. So again, Ocean City's value overall, 1.13, was down 9% from the month of March. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but that could just be a glitch in those statistics of coming off the first quarter.
Yep.
Look at the number of properties that came on the market. Actually, it was fairly flat. Actually, you had 105 come on in April versus 106 in March. So we're seeing a nice consistent flow of the number of properties coming on the market right now in Ocean City. Okay. And we actually had seen an increase in the number of properties that closed, meaning or sold. We went from 41, we went up actually 17%. We went up to 48 properties sold in the month of April. So we're seeing some things click in, Joe, but here's the good news. When you look at that 105 versus 48 the month before, 106 came on the market versus 41, you're seeing virtually 2.5 times come on the market versus what is actually selling. Okay. So we're seeing a nice, a steady flow there. Not, crazy numbers. We're not seeing 4 or 5 homes per sale, but we're seeing a nice 2.5. So a little bit of consistency there. As for sale price versus list price, the exact same month over month at 97%. Moving down into Sea Isle City, a little bit of a different story there. The actual sales price actually went up significantly. That went up 11%. So we're actually at $1.73 million average sale price in Sea Isle. So that's ever climbing there, but again, up 11%.
Sure.
As for the number of properties that came on the market, that actually dropped significantly. That dropped about 50%, Joe. We went down from actually 24 properties in the month of March came on the market, dropped down to 12 came on the market in April. Okay. Which is going to set up for an interesting spring there if we're not getting the inventory coming on. Again, what's going to be available. Sitting here right now, we only have about 59 properties all told for sale in Sea Isle. All right. As for what's sold, we actually had an increase there. So we had actually 9 closings in the month of April versus 5 in March. So typically, and you like to refer to this when we talk with the team in our meetings, that a lot of these numbers will show what was teed up, right? So what went under contract in February and March is what closed in April. So we're seeing that residual effect of what was the market doing earlier this year. In Sea Isle. And as for the overall sale price to list price, that dropped actually. So that's interesting. It went from 97% down to 94%. But remember that 94%, excuse me, that 94% is of 1.73. 97% was of 1.55. So again, I'm with you. You always say that. Well, I'd rather be starting at 1.73 versus 1.55, and I'll take my 94%. What you got for us?
So down a little bit further down the parkway. So in the Wildwood, we're going to do with North Wildwood at this point. So again, it's April versus March. So in the month of April, North Wildwood, your average sale price was up 4%. $709,000 was your average sale price. Pretty much a nice increase in the amount of properties that were listed for sale. We had a 20% jump. There was about 44 that came on the market. Number of properties that closed. So to Chris's point, what's kind of teed up in February and March closed in April. We had almost a 46% decrease in the amount of properties that sold in the month of April in North Wildwood. We only had 19 properties closed. Your list price to sale price pretty much neck and neck with with the month of March, they were both running around 98, 90. In the month of April was 97%. You started at 730,000 was your list price. So pretty similar March and April there. Going into the Wildwoods, your average sale price, we talked about this in our video of the first quarter and also the month of March compared to February. And your average sale price for the month of April dropped 40%. Because the average sale price in the month of March in Wildwood was $907,000. The average sale price in the month of April was $540,000. Again, kind of sometimes depends on what closes, what goes under contract. You get some of these new constructions, big properties, maybe a waterfront, and all of a sudden your numbers get a little skewed there.
Yeah,
so
true.
40% drop in your price. Don't get nervous on that. The average sale price was $540,000, which is kind of more baseline of what we look at here for Wildwood. As far as among the properties that came on the market, we had 20 properties come on the market, which was a 20% decrease in the month of April. We had similar properties as far as the number of units that closed, 25, which was almost identical to the month of March. And then when you look at the list price to sale price, we're running right around 98%, 99%. And again, yes, you started at 98% in March at 920,000, but you were still at 98% here at 546,000 in Wildwood. Going into Wildwood Crest, again, nice little bump there, 14% increase in your average sale price. 737,000 was your average sale price in Wildwood Crest for April. Pretty flat with regards to the amount of properties that came on, same as March. It was 26 in April, 26 in March. You had a 34% increase in the amount of properties that closed, which was 29. So that's a good jump there with regards to the number of properties that closed. Your list price to sale price pretty much identical to the month of March at 96%, a little bit higher, 96.6% was the actual number. Moving into Sea Point Village, never really a lot going on in Sea Point Village. It is a limited amount. Sea Point Village, Diamond Beach area, we had a 13% decrease in the amount of list price, sale price. 715,000 was your average sale price. You only had 2 properties that sold, so depending on what that is, kind of fluctuates your sale price. Now we did have 7 properties come on the market, and interesting enough, it was the same as the month before. But so we have a total of 14 properties that have come on the market in March and April in Sea Point Village, Diamond Beach area, and only 4 closed. So as you would talk about like that 3-to-1, 4-to-1, there's almost a 5-to-1 ratio as far as the number of properties that have come on the market to close. So you're starting to see a little bit of maybe an inventory base there in Diamond Beach, Sea Point Village. And then lastly, Chris, the Southern Point here in Cape May, average sale price went from, this is sort of like Wildwood, your average sale price jumped 100%. Your average sale price in Cape May was $1.54 million, as opposed to the month of March of $796,000. So again, kind of a little skewed there. We had a 22% increase in the amount of properties that came on the market. We had 18 come on in Cape May. Identical as far as closings were concerned. We had 6 closed in March, 6 closed in April. So pretty flat there. And then your list price to sale price was about 98.7% in the month of April. And again, you were starting at 1.56, not 816,000. So again, those numbers kind of get a little skewed sometimes depending on what closes and whatnot. But that's more realistic. That 1.54 for Cape May, not 797. 540 for Wildwood, not 907. So that's kind of more in line with what we're looking for. You want to jump offshore a little bit, Chris, and move up the parkway a little bit.
Yeah, moving up, going into Upper Township, actually. So what we saw there was we saw an amazing jump in the overall sales value. So it's almost kind of, I don't want to say ridiculous to bring it up, but we went from $450,000 to over $1 million. So something clearly transpired there. I had a couple of big sales happen in the area there. Not the normal, the 450 to 550, 600,000 is more the norm in Upper Township. So we're going to see what that looks like in the month of May versus April when we do that video next month. However, staying consistent though with the number of properties that came on the market, we did drop 33%. We went from 21 all the way down to 14. So, again, primary home market now, that's the area that we're in here, folks. We're in primary home markets, what we're talking about. A little bit of a decrease in the number of properties coming on the market, which is interesting when it's the springtime, because that's when folks start normally like, all right, I want to sell, we'll settle for summer. People make their moves in the summer, kids are out of school, etc. So it's going to be interesting to see how that really starts to transpire too, heading into May, if we see maybe an uptick in May in the number of homes that came on the market. As for the number of sales, actually was virtually identical. I had 7 sales. It was 8 the month before, so that's staying very consistent. And the overall sales price to list price, that dropped from 97% down to 93%. And again, I know I mentioned it before about how high the actual list prices were, the sales value were, and now it's at 93%. So the numbers, they're a little bit skewed in this video here for Upper Township, but the key factors let's focus here on for this video really is the number of properties that came on the market had dropped significantly, and then ones that have sold actually had stayed the same.
Okay.
So again, that means we're not building inventory in Upper Township. As for Summers Point, moving up into Atlantic County, for Summers Point, actually, we had a 4% drop there. We went from 416 down to 397. One of the first months that we've seen with Summers Point dropping below that 400,000 in the average sale price. But nothing crazy. But again, just a slight drop down into 397. Number of properties that came on the market, we actually had an increase. Great for Summers Point. We went from 24 to 29, so we had a 21% increase in the number of properties that came up for sale. And as for the number of properties that sold and closed, we actually dropped virtually, we went from 19 down to 8. So that's a significant amount of properties that dropped in settlements. The good news, if you're a buyer, if we actually had an increase of 17% or 21%, up to 29 homes coming on the market and only 8 actually selling, the good news is that means there's inventory available.
Yeah.
So that's some good news for Summers Point. And your sales price to list price, exactly the same, virtually 97 to 98%. So same month over month. So Summers Point, staying fairly consistent, which is good news for for homeowners and buyers for the Summers Point market.
Absolutely. When we go back, staying sort of in that primary home market, let's go down into so North Cape May. You actually had an average sale price jump about 7%. $586,000 was your average sale price for the month of April. 7% increase. The amount of properties that came onto the market, 50% drop. Only had 6 come on the market in the month of April in North Cape May. So kind of we're going to see what happens here. As we start to see, so what's May going to look like now when we do our video next month with regards to the number of transactions that you have? Because you had pretty much the same amount. You had 7 properties close in April in North Cape May, which was pretty much the same as it was in March. So if you're at that point, you have 6 coming on the market, which is a 50% drop, and you have 7 close. You're pretty much at a 1-to-1, and it's a drop in price. So inventory, to your point, like with Summers Point, not really building any inventory base there in North Cape May just yet. Average sale price was running list price to sale price right around 99%. Again,
Which makes sense.
It's like, you only have so many properties to choose from. So 591,000 list price, 586 sale price in North Cape May. A little bit further up the Parkway, Cape May Courthouse, we did have a pretty big drop in your average sale price in Cape May Courthouse. 25% drop. $373,000 was the average sale price in Cape May Courthouse for the month of April. Amount of properties that came on the market, pretty steady, 19 both months, March and April. We had a 33% increase in the number of properties that sold. We had 12, which was a pretty good jump with regards to the amount of properties that actually sold. And then your list price to sale price, you were running at 96%, almost 97% in the month of April. But again, you also had a 25% decrease because you were running 96.6 in March, but you were starting at 517, not 385. So something that really we'll kind of keep an eye on there. And Courthouse could be a glitch, kind of like what happened in Wildwood and or Cape May this month. So we'll just kind of see really where that takes us for that. So Chris, that's sort of, that's our March versus April, our, the first month of the second quarter. As we are, really driving through the spring market here, right up through like the 4th of July. So it'll be interesting to see kind of like what these trends are really showing for us. As we go into, as we said, into the month of May and see what happens here as we roll towards Memorial Day. Any thoughts here on what we talked about here?
Well, I think we've noticed a little bit, and you and I were talking about this the other day, that we feel like that the market is kind of lagging behind a little bit. And we've talked to a couple other shore towns and that we'd like to communicate with, see what's happening with their second home markets. What's going on there? Are we a standalone or is this kind of a trend? And we are seeing like some of these other towns that they're lagging a little bit. And where you see activity that would normally happen in March, it happened in April. And right now we're seeing a little bit of an uptick, we hope, for the month of May. But that's normally what we're seeing in April because people are gearing up. They want to be in for Memorial Day. They want to be ready for the summer and all of that. And there, there's a lot of external factors that could be playing into that. So those are the things we just need to watch. at the end of the day, we're still in a similar market, Joe, that we have had here now for a number of years. This isn't just a couple of months or a couple of weeks. This is years of just low inventory. You know, values are up, down, up, down, up, down, and that's just really what we have going on right now. However, the good news is for both sides, sellers and buyers, is that there's inventory. And for you know, for buyers to choose from, and for the sellers, there's buyers out there. There's people that are buying homes, and we just went through the numbers. There's people that are buying, and homes are closing. So if you're thinking of selling, it's a great time. You know, if you're thinking about buying, it's a great time because there are properties that are available.
100%. And I think the key word that you use there is lag. It's lagging behind. It's the market isn't. You know, we're not down. That's not at all what you're saying. It's just lagging. Activity and the buzz that you would see in April didn't come. We're getting it now. So like there's just that little lag behind that we're having. But stuff is still happening down here at the Jersey Shore. And whether you are looking to buy or sell down here at the shore, please reach out to us here at the Ferzoco Group, whether it's Chris, myself, or a team. Give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. It'll be our pleasure to help you. We do offer a free market analysis and equity update to all owners down here at the shore. Whether you're looking to sell next week, next month, 6 months, a year from now, it's good to kind of check that box, get that ball rolling, kind of start thinking about what you want to do here, maybe towards the end of 2024 in your thought process. If you're looking to buy, get yourself down here. You start to look at properties. We do offer video tours, video chats and whatnot. So when we're at the properties, it's almost like you're there. If your schedule right now and this time of the year is pretty jammed up. But as I said, give us a call, shoot us a text or an email. We can certainly help you reach your goals here for the year, whether you're buying or you're selling. So that's going to do a wrap here, March versus April for 2024. And until next time, we'll see you at the beach.